Hello, collective. Somebody made a mistake judging you, okay? So, we're just gonna go into a random reading for just a sec, okay? They view you as regal and very abundant now, or you are somebody that's very regal, very abundant. Um, so, we're gonna just shuffle and see. I feel like this is like the aftermath of the full moon in Scorpio, which took place 2 days ago, okay? Yeah, they made a mistake judging you. I feel like they didn't think that you were the star. They didn't think that you would get recognition. They didn't think that you were somebody of value. They didn't think that you were somebody that had intuition, that knew that you were talking about, that knew that you were actually of a different status and ranking. Perhaps you got all of the receipts and what your word has said, professed, stand on. There is backings on it. But not only that, I also feel like even if they thought that you were nothing, spiritually, they couldn't deny the power that you hold. Okay, the regal, the abundance that was owed to you, or that you're coming from, or that you come from. Okay, they just didn't think that you were the star. But Lord and behold, they were wrong. You're somebody that not only a star, but you have the seat at the throne. This could also be symbolic for being one of God's chosen ones, right? Look at this as, quote unquote, God on the throne, and you have a direct line to the Most High. Okay, you sit next to God, just like Jesus does, just like his angels protects him, the throne. Into the biblical mess of it all, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody just didn't think that you had a direct line. Somebody didn't think you come from a real line. Okay, but whether physically, and yes, this, you know what, I think this will resonate more if you are into the Bible. Okay, there is certain abundance, love, protection that you get being a chosen one. So in that sense, whatever is happening on the physical, on this earth, on the 3D, it doesn't compare to what God has for you. Okay? And the everyday person, the non-intuitive, the non-chosen ones, more or less, they thought you were nothing. And God said, hold my cup, hold my staff. You don't know my children like that. Okay? So somebody is mistaken. Somebody also feels judged, and they feel ashamed. They feel ashamed. I feel like they have no choice but to leave you behind. I don't think they did anything physically against you, collective, but it's in the sense of like if other people were against you and they were quiet, they're catching the fire as well. They're catching that staff as well. You get me? Some of them could have abandoned you, okay, or let you feel abandoned, as in don't go towards collective, leave them alone, or they're not worth it. But God is like, again, hold my staff. You don't know my children like I do. Okay, they have no choice but to come towards you. That they had no choice but to go into self-reflection on why they were deeming you unworthy, not valuable, not of royal or regal or abundant essence. Okay, a lot of them had to fight with other people. They definitely had to fight with themselves. For some of them, they even got into arguments with their close ones, their lovers, their family members, because them doing you wrong or not standing up for you did a 360. Okay, I'm getting the energy of like, if they hurt you at some point, they will feel it. Especially if you're under the wings, the shield of the Most High. Anyone that comes and attack against you, they will feel it. The ones that didn't say anything, the ones that did, they will all feel it, and it might affect them differently in different ways. This is what I notice in my personal life. So, for instance, if I'm used to having a lot of narcissistic individuals, whether it's friends, family, strangers, their energy is not, you know, it's very similar. Okay, when you know a narcissist, when you have grown up with one, when you have dated one, when you have had one in close proximity, they all work in similar ways. Okay. So basically, what I wanted to say with that, I also want to remember, if it's narcissistic people that has realized they were at shame right now, they're very insecure. Okay, they don't have to be a narcissist. Okay, I just feel like there were people that didn't believe in you and deem you as worthy or valuable, of the things that I mentioned prior, and now things could have gone 360, as in now they're being left behind. Now people are looking at them like, having issues with them, or trying to block their blessings, or what may. All right. I don't want to be like, oh, karma, where I don't feel like that's the case, especially for the ones that didn't voice up for you. I feel like they feel ashamed. Because when you're a good person, your heart is right, and they see it in action, but they still want to deny it in your face, and then you're a part of God's collective. It's a different type of retaliation. That's how I feel. That's how I feel like it's what it's all about. So yeah, these people now, or person, they feel ashamed for treating you like they're treating you right now. I feel like a lot of them are trying to work hard. If it's one person or multiple, they're trying to work hard to at least deem themselves worthy in your eyes, or at least make it right again. I don't feel like you care as much. I feel like you kind of clueless to them behaving the way they're doing, because it's kind of like whatever you're used to, people treating you a certain way. It shouldn't be common, but I feel like it's common for a lot of chosen ones, God's selective, collective, that we do be treating you do be getting treated a certain way, okay? Which is sad, but yeah, I would say this though, they're gonna be more attentive now to your words and you yourself and everything you do. Even they're like not awakened, because I feel like these are unawakened people. There are awakened people that like low-key your enemy and your haters. Like they know who they are and they know who you are, but they're trying everything to make sure that you don't know who you are. There are people like that. But I feel like the people that didn't know who you are, and they're also unawakened. Unawakened people are basically people that are not aware to, they're not in tune with their spiritual side. Okay, like people that they like to live in the everyday structure norms of what everybody says, society says, and that's it. They like to live behind the mask. Okay, but you're not that type of person. So for the majority, I feel like it's unawakened people that just didn't know, they just don't believe, they're not in tune with their spiritual side. So for them to like treat you some type of way, they're probably clueless. It won't. They can't connect the dots. But then there are awakened people that know who you are and they're in tune, but they are your opposition. But that's a different story. Okay, I feel like it's people that are not awakened that treated you the way you're treated. So for me, how I always view it when somebody's attacking a chosen one, it's either spiritually or there is some sort of logical, science-based, human-based explanation, right? Because you can be attacked for the isms, the racism, the prejudice, the colorisms, discrimination, hateration, and be jealous. That is the unawakened state. That is the science based things that are human based. And then there are spiritual attacks where it's more so fused into because you're chosen one, because of your belief system. Okay, it has nothing to do with how you look, where you come from, what you had, what you do have, whether you're poor, rich, it doesn't matter. When you are just simply attacked for the basis of you having faith and being God's chosen ones. Now, obviously, you can be attacked for both, but I feel like collectively, as I'm not really here for the division of it all, there's a different sense of experience when you attack spiritually and physically, okay? Because on a human level, everybody gets attacked in different ways, okay? There is differences. There is hierarchies. There are plethora of insights and breakdowns on why people treat other people differently. Whether it's man against, as in human, whether it's against women against men, women against women, right? Or families against families, whether it's, status against, there's a different thing. Like you can be rich and still be attacked because of your money. You can be poor and still be attacked, but it's not based on your money or what you do have or what you don't have, but it's based on the fact that you have belief. And it's, again, religion against a religion, all that is man-made attacks, man-made, you're from there or you have this, or it's very typical. Like in the beginning, at some point, I don't know why YouTube was, or the people that was watching my readings a few years back it was kind of like, I don't know who YouTube was broadcasting it for, but it was like a few weird ass or one particular individual, and she was it was just she, and she couldn't say much about my readings, but the thing that she was tailor focused on was the fact that I had this evil eye, little, thing there. And she's like, and I quote, she was like, obviously she couldn't say anything about my readings, but she's like, it's very typical. She had an issue with the reading, but she couldn't attack the message. So what she said was, it's typical for people that have this evil eye pendant that spews the most hate. And I'm here thinking, I know for a fact my title and all my intros, even if it's 2 years back, I always say it resonates like a broken record. So for her to jump in, and that during that time, there was no pictures of me. Obviously, you can see my profile, right? But I'm not one of those people that showcase me on display. So I'm thinking, okay, why is she so upset, or this person so upset because of this? Like, if she doesn't like the message, then so be it. She could be like, that's wrong, blah, 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 blah. But she couldn't focus on anything other than this little situation. So obviously, everybody knows what the evil eye pendant means. And it's stem from jealousy, it's stem from ego. But I'm also thinking here, why are you watching something that's not aligned with you, right? So I say this to say, there are human-based stuff that people attack you for, and then you don't even have to showcase or say anything, and they're attacking you just based on the fact that God is covering you, okay? Why I need to break that down, I feel like I need it. They're in their ego, and they thought that you're the same bunch, you're also coming from the same tribe, same frequency, but no. That is what a spiritual attack is, when they're attacking you based on your energy. And I'm not just talking about being a good person, good-hearted. Like, everybody can do good if they choose to, because it's a choice, right? But it's the simple fact that they are in bondage, they're in their ego, and you're not. You're free. Okay? So with this freedom, will give you success. While they're trying to get what they need to do in order to, be successful, you are already there because of your energy. And this is why they're spiritually attacking you. It's sad. No, they do feel ashamed. The cards that are coming out is Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. You might be upset right now. They might be upset as well. But the thing is, a lot of them, they wanted to give you an offer. They want to come towards you, but they can't. Why? Because you're in a different energy, different frequency. You guys are not aligned. So if they can't be with you, they're going to attack you. And it's so funny because I'm getting the energy of like, if you can't beat them, join them, but they can't join you. I feel they're not allowed to join you. Collective. And that's a question for you or the Most High. I don't know why they can't join you, but they can't. So they're attacking you now. But these are people that want to be on your team. They want to be with you. And they want you to be the same as them. Operate from the same frequency. Do the same thing as them. Be stuck in ego, limited mindset, or karmic cycle. Or just not be awakened. I think that's the thing. They don't want you to be awakened. They wish that you were like them. So you guys can go together. But according to God and the protection He has over you, being the chosen one, you can't really do much when God is like, no, there is a separation between so and so. Okay? They do feel ashamed though. I feel like a lot of them, no, they just feel ashamed. That's what I'm getting here. Do they regret it? I don't feel like they regret it though, because in a way it's like they're not awake. You know what it is? I feel like it's unawakened people that are attacking you. If it's awakened people, as in they're spiritually in tune as well, so they're just hating on you because of, that essence in its entirety. But people that are not tuned in, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know. They're not connected to God. Like, they don't know what spirituality is. Like, what is that? So they meet you and they're like, oh yeah, collective is the same. But God is like, no, there is a difference. There's very much a difference. And it's even worse if they are unawakened. But I do feel like it is easier to forgive. It's easier to forgive them because you can't really do much against or say much or feel much against people that have no clue what the fuck is happening. Because at some point we all was unawakened until we were awakened, okay? Now, will this person be awakened or these people? Only God knows, okay? I don't know. But I will say this, the message here is this: all the attacks, all the assumptions, all the whatever the case may be in order to block you, make you feel some type of way, make you feel abundant, they feel ashamed now. I'm also getting the energy of like what they did to you, they're also getting it back. But it's not like, I will say this though, even if you're watching and you feel some type of way about me taking up for the people that have been against you, collective, I do feel sympathy in a way, because again, these are not people that are awakened. There is a difference. It's kind of like somebody's like, yeah, this is collective, they're a chosen one. Whoever's attacking you, they're like, I know that they're a chosen one, but they don't care. That's why they're attacking you. And then there are people, oh, I didn't know that collective was a chosen one. I shouldn't have attacked them. That's why they feel ashamed. That is the difference. I know for a fact, whoever's watching, if you're like, why the heck are you taking up for the people that have been against me, and saying that being an unawakened person, in your eyes, it makes you think that I'm giving them an excuse. I'm not, okay? Some people know exactly what they're doing. But if we're gonna base it on spiritual, these people don't know what they're doing because they're not awakened. Now, if they attacked you on some on a human level, like I explained before, that's a different story, okay? That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about spiritually attacking you. If it's on a human level, well, they're still ashamed. And, well, that is something that people need to deal with on a human level. That's why there's laws, okay? That's why there is laws in place. And depending on where you live on the planet, things will be addressed. But I'm gonna tell you this. If God is the one that oversees everything, he's a much quicker judge than what's happening on the planet. For some of you guys, it is physical based, as in human based on why they're attacking you, like on a human level, based on any isms that I mentioned. These people, well, I guess they realize, based on the 8 of Cups and the 7 of Cups, maybe they were about to lose a cup. Maybe they were, you know what I'm getting? The people that were trying to attack you on a physical level, or like on a human level, like not spiritually, and it's more, they're gonna, number one, they're gonna lose a cup based on, you know, literally, right? Going from the 8 to the 7. But a lot of them, they're trying to create illusions. Like they're trying to make you delusional, create illusions on, like, maybe gaslighting could be relevant here. Like, you know that they're attacking you, and whenever you stood up for yourself, or even somebody spoke up for you, they're like, oh no, collective is delusional. No, they're like, you know, in this illusion of thinking, they're trying to gaslight themselves out of the situation, okay? This is like if you're being attacked physically. But, like, they're gonna lose a cup for attacking you. Do they feel resentful? Maybe they feel resentful now, okay? For those that have attacked you on a human level, they feel resentful. Some of them are having issues with love in general, or with their soulmates, whether it's best friends, co-workers, lovers. Some of them, in a weird way, they were trying to attack you because they wanted to be with you. So it's giving, you know how society is like, oh, if a boy child hits a girl child, that means that they are showing affection, right? Which is on some bullshit. So I'm getting the energy of, like, boys will be boys. In that sense, they attacked you because they liked you, or they wanted to be with you. This is for those that have partners, or I would say lovers, romantic relationships with people that are abusive, whether it's mentally, physically, verbally. They did all that because in the eyes of society, boys will be boys, which is very stupid, hoping that you will come back to them. You know, on a logical note, this feels like narcissistic people, okay? This is like when you're attacked on a human level. There's a difference when you attack spiritually, okay, because you got chosen one, and then when you get attacked on a human level. It could be all the isms, or it could be a plain ass narcissist, okay? Because that also happens. Okay. Yeah. I know. Well, actually, I do know. I found it's so silly though, how we're in 2025 and people still behaving like, it's even like an abomination to even compare it to animals. But low key, why are people behaving without common sense, animalistic towards other people, thinking that it's okay? Like, I still in 2025, just in general, I just don't understand how it's okay to abuse somebody, emotionally, mentally, physically. Why? For what? Especially those that do that to people they have romantic partnerships. Like, make it make sense. Like, it would make sense to attack somebody if it's, you hate them, if you, there's like no connection, you get me? But to tag a loved one, somebody that you have had intimacy with, or share something intimate, like why do you want to go out your way to attack them or make them feel scared, or make it make sense? If it's your competitor, your enemy, maybe that's more common, maybe that makes more sense because you're out in the battle, like. But I will never understand people that abuse other people. Okay, I can break it down based on psychology and be like, oh, what? Because they hurt people. But still, right? I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm thinking, you're like, okay, if you were hurt at some point, you've been hurt, why are you doing this to other people? Why not get help? Why not be in a relationship? You know? I don't know. This is it's so weird to me. It's oh my god. I'm getting frustrated. It really is so weird to me. I can't. I really can't. But I don't feel like they feel ashamed like that, especially if they're a narcissist, okay? Like if they hurt you on a human level. Based on the cards, is people that you were in a romantic relationship with, people that you had back and forth relationship with, people that have a hard time letting you go. Okay. Anything else that's relevant? We're gonna add this. So yeah, somebody feels trapped now, okay? In their head, in their life, like they fuck things up for themselves. Going back to being hurt by humans on a human level, but not spiritually. Why are you, again, hurting somebody? Even if it's hurt people. I will say this though, I have no sympathy for people that hurt each other on a human level. Okay, you can be unawakened and still hurt other people on a human level. But if you're unawakened spiritually, let's just go with that. I do have more sympathy for that group that's hurting somebody that is spiritually awakened because they have no clue. They're not awakened, okay? But that's on a spiritual level. But on a human level, ism, narcissism, like I was saying, right? All the isms. I don't have sympathy for that because, number one, there's too much resource on this planet, knowledge, the fucking internet, for people to behave the way we're behaving, acting like things won't be exposed. Like, people use the internet for every little thing. Even if there is let's say you don't have no support system. I don't know why I'm reflecting over to reality shows now, but Temptation Island, there's this couple. Temptation Island. What I was seeing when I was seeing those clips, flooding the algorithm on my other YouTube, and I was looking at the couples. All of them came into one place in order to fix their relationship, test it so they won't cheat, okay? The title in itself is Temptation Island. And there are some couples there that were mind-boggling, surprised, confusion. Well, we have already been with these people experiencing some sort of setback. To go on the show, to make it broadcasted for everybody, to show more setbacks. Some of them didn't even want to realize it, was in delusional land, thinking that their partners would change. Even them seeing the abuse, these setbacks on live television, whether it was in front of us or behind the scenes, to this day, they're like, they can still make it work. Okay? That is being hurt on a human, secular level that I don't understand. Because I'm thinking, if we're gonna put this in a, this is what I mean as an example of being hurt on a human level, for everybody to see, and that person still accept the situation. You know, those people like that, they are narcissists. The people that are suffering this are enablers. Okay, people might say they're empathic people, but like, you know, it can make sense. Nonetheless, being hurt on a human level, they are now being stuck. For some of them, they was trying to use magic, maybe, or spell work, maybe. This reminds me of like a grimoire. Okay, let me Google this, because ain't no way. Yeah, I'm getting quite, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's a different type of betrayal and craziness when you're being hurt on a human level. It really is. So I'm here like, make it make sense, right? So I'm trying to pronounce something about speech impedancy. Just give me a sec, okay? Let me Google this, so maybe you guys can hear it. Grimoire. Okay, that, it reminds me of like, and then I believe it's basically like the book of spells, which is basically gaslighting, you know, using their words in order to trap you, make you feel some type of way, and now they're being stuck by their own words. Now they're being trapped, whether mentally by their own words, their own actions, for the things they did to you on a human level. I can make it make sense. Like, I feel like, and I feel like that's why a lot of people are like, karma this, karma that. I really hope, you know, this part of the reading is a little bit difficult, because I don't have sympathy or empathy. Like, if you're being hurt on a human level, especially if it's gaslighting, narcissism, any isms, actually, all the isms, line it all up, Google it. It's hard for me to have some sort of sympathy. But if it's on unawakened spiritual sense, I view it differently, again, because they are unawakened. Now, obviously, there are people that are spiritual narcissistic individuals, but I'm not talking about that. I really hope I'm making sense to some degree, okay? And if not, whatever makes sense, take it, okay? I feel like these are for people that it's either have been dealing with spiritual abuse or human abuse, okay? They're not being sad and depressed, because let me be honest, this is what they were trying to do to you, okay? A lot of them are going to be confused when it comes to their purpose in life. So I will tell you this, anyone that don't know their purpose, as in why you're here on earth, why are we doing what are we doing, they won't have a purpose, or they will be lost on their purpose. By having on their purpose will be gone. And if you don't have a purpose on this planet, there's only one way to go, okay? We got the hole in the heart. They're going through it. It's not just depression. If you lose your purpose in life, okay, and you're already depressed, this is how they see it. This is the outcome. Doesn't it look grotesque? I'm telling you, they wanted you to be down and out. Now, I will say that being hurt on a human level, it's a different type of hurt, okay? But I will say this, I don't know if it's karma, but the outcome will be them feeling depressed. The outcome will be not knowing what their purpose is. The numbers could be relevant as well. feeling like life is meaningless, okay? Um, because this is, look at the alchemy. They were probably trying to do all this towards you. And that's why you were their target on a human level. And if it's spiritual, I will say it's even worse, because even if I have sympathy for the unawakened people, if they are hurting you on a human level, but also is a spiritual narcissist and you were chosen by God, listen, that's something that is above my spiritual jurisdiction, okay? It's a different type of, I have no say. That's up to God. God do what he needs to do for his people, right? But I can say this, I know justice takes place for anyone that has been hurt in on a human level. I know it's not very active for everybody on this planet because different rules, different systems, etc., etc. But I know for a fact there is some sort of law at some point for somebody in terms of the ism being hurt on a human level, okay? That's why there are prisons. That's why there are hospitals. Like, that's why there's some sort of law, okay? That's why paperwork is important. So yeah, they were trying to make sure that you were depressed, or actually didn't even make sure, because I don't feel like this is on a spiritual base. I feel like this is what they were putting you through, wanting you to live in. You know, life has no meaning. You ain't got no purpose. You're depressed, right? Things of this nature. You feeling stuck, literally, okay? Or in your head. Like, it's I don't know why, but I want to say psychological warfare is relevant. Okay? If you know, you know. Lord. This is a long reading. Sorry, guys. We're going to keep it short. Well, it's been a long reading already. But thank you for watching. Chosen ones, God's people, awakened people. Listen, this is not something that you will be drained, affected by because of the protection. Whether it, yeah, I will have to say, yeah, I have to be honest. The reason why, because number one, you're awakened. Number two, you have God's protection over your life, or you're part of the collective of chosen ones, right? And the reason why I say it would not be as trivial is because, and I know it might be a little bit hard to take or digest, you're supposed to go through it with these people, like people attacking you on a spiritual level. It's character development, number one, but I also feel like God knew what you can handle, okay? God knew that you will overcome because you're part of that selective few, okay? Nonetheless, you are a miracle, and miracles are what? They overcome, they excel, happens very seldom, right? But you're part of that frequency. And if miracles are endless, so are you, okay? Under the protection of the Most High. So I feel like you will be much better, at least mentally, energy-wise, for the attacks that you have dealt with from these unawakened people than being hurt by people that have been hurt on a secular human level, okay? Not to say you can suffer psychological debris effects from being hurt spiritually, because I know spiritual attacks are real, that is a thing, okay? But it's different being hurt on a human level. Even though there's laws, you might be a chosen one, you might not be, but let's say you're not a part of the chosen one collective and you be hurt on a human level, it kind of feels like God is not coming to your aid quickly. I don't know about you, but I do feel like, I don't know if I'm saying too much, but I do feel like there's a quicker, line, like there's a direct line between God's chosen ones and God. Okay? I don't know. Debate me on this in the comment. Maybe it's much more difficult for people that don't know God, don't have a connection with God, they're not spiritual, to reach out to God, especially if they go through things on a human level. I might be wrong, but I know a lot of people be angry with God on why they're going through certain things, specifically on the human level, making them feel like there is no God. Okay? But then there are people that go through shit that are spiritual. They know there's a God and they know that they will be okay, even though things have been shit. Okay? I feel like there's a difference here. Being hurt spiritually and being hurt on a human level, asking God for help, but maybe the spiritual person get a quicker hello than the non-spiritual. So that's just me. Listen, if I don't make sense, because I know I feel like I'm rambling right now, but the speech is on point, more or less. I think. I know. Collective, I gotta go. Okay. For some of you guys, this will be as it never happened. You're gonna move past it and see brighter days. For others, I think it's the same thing, but it might affect you a little bit more mentally in the long run. For example, having issues trusting people, getting into relationships because of what took place in the past. Okay, I feel like that's the difference between being spiritually attacked and human attacked. Being humanly attacked. Okay, based on the isms. I'm probably not making sense, but listen, there's somebody that wants to be coming back into your life again because they have lost something. Listen, if it's spiritual, you know how to block them. And if it's human-based attacks, okay, because this is somebody that's going through a rock bottom right now, that's trying to rush back into your life collective, I don't feel like you should have the door open, okay? A lot of people might say they're a narcissist, but if they hurt you in any shape or form where you are like smiling through the pain, I don't feel like it is worth for you to have them in your life, and I don't care who they are. Okay? This might be a person that feels regret, they feel shameful, they know they have done wrong, right? They were in a bad place. And they may not be narcissists, they were just hurt people, right? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. On a human level, I don't like it. I feel like you should cut them off. Okay?